You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Part of his answer was what you're alluding to there, Chris, how he goes about discussing usage with some of these guys in the current set of circumstances, red shirt and all that we're accustomed to. Here's Coach McGuire.
Not that the NCAA is watching my press conference, but I hope the NCAA decides to give us 5 for 5. It's the easiest rule that they could ever pass. It would eliminate a lot of lawsuits. There's a lawsuit going on right now with a large number of players that are trying to get 5 for 5, guys that played as freshmen. I think he's going to get drafted, but it could affect Reggie Virgil. Reggie Virgil played 79 snaps as a freshman, 79, and he lost a year. So he's very interested in if he needs to get a year back. So with us, we've always done it this way. If a player, no matter what age they are, can help us win, they're going to play. If they're not ready to help us win, then we're going to stick with the 4 games. And usually whenever you're talking about not helping to win, it's physical. It's more the physical part. Some mental, but more physical part. They're just not developed yet. I've told all those guys, Brock is one of them. I mean, Brock's playing a lot of special teams, and he's been in the mix of the 2s at linebacker. I've told him, I said, guys, you just need to understand, if you can help us win, you got to roll. You got to go, and we'll figure it out after that. I really do believe at some point, I wished it was tomorrow, they could drop a lot of lawsuits right there, and stop wasting time to where the only medical or the only red shirt is a medical red shirt, and give us 5 for 5 to play, and we can go from there. But if they can help us play, and they're all good with it. They understand if they're playing, then they're good.
I think at this point in time, given the climate of how fluid things are with rules and restrictions and eligibility and whatever else, just roll the dice and take your chances. You're going to be fine. That would be part of the messaging, I would think, to a lot of these guys is whatever it says today ain't what it's going to say tomorrow.
I know. And you are. I really don't think you're going to be irresponsible here, because the majority of your class, like most of the offensive linemen, defensive linemen, your quarterback, they're not going to be in a position to try to help you win this year anyways. And it's a physicality thing, or we've just got plenty of others ahead of you, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But in some of these other ones, I think that they are just going to roll them out there and say, we feel good enough that they may get this year back, but we're not going to worry about it because they're going to be able to help us right now anyways. And these were, and in most of these cases, these were kids that were here at semester, like they've been on campus for like 9 months anyways. That is also the crazy thing about the sport, specifically to football, is that it's pretty normal to enroll early now. I mean,
you feel like you're behind if you're not early.
Well, and you are. I mean, like very much so. It doesn't guarantee you anything, and some people do want to do it. I think what Tech always says is, I mean, if you're on a basketball team or a track team and you can go win a state championship or what, by all means, stay in school, go try to win and do your thing. But if you do enroll early, those guys that have been here since January, and you see the guys that just show up at late May, it's 5 to 6 months, but it is a massive difference with your body, your mentality, your knowledge of what is going on here. I mean, it's worlds different because you just don't train elsewhere like you would here. You don't eat elsewhere like you would here, and all those things. But that's also
a huge life change.
Yes,
months in your rear view or whatever, as compared to just arriving and all that acclimation that goes with it. So
that's also why a lot of those guys are in a position to help you and help you now too. So anyway, we'll continue to monitor it. Everybody's still clean from the 2 games anyways, even if they both played. But maybe they'll start to spread some of this stuff out, and like, okay, we're going to only have this receiver for the next 4 games, and then we'll put him on ice, and then we'll have this receiver. I don't know. We'll just kind of see how it goes, but that's Joey's opinion on it, and he's not wrong. I wish that there was some common sense here, but unfortunately, we're not there yet.
I didn't really know how I was supposed to feel about it until he started throwing names around like Reggie Virgil. I'm like, yes, let's go ahead and grant these things.
And that's the other side of it.
That's the other end of it, yeah.
Yes, it's like the Davion Carter deal, like where you think, okay, this is it for him. No, I get my year back.
So I get pretty excited about that, assuming it would be in the right uniform.
If you want to talk to me about Reggie Virgil coming back here, I would love to have that conversation.
You're open ears.
Yes. Yeah.
First, today's episode brought to you by DoorDash, and it's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP. Who delivered? Powered by DoorDash. And just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. This week for Texas Tech, it was the QB, Baron Morton, 16 for 18, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, only 1 hyperextended limb. You can't ask for much more than that. And just like Baron Morton delivered for the Red Raiders, DoorDash delivers for your Saturdays. And DoorDash Streaks, that's going to help you save every Saturday you order, so you can stack it up all season long and wind up saving up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, and keep the winning alive by fueling your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promotional period through November 18th. Man, before we wrap it up, let's spend just a moment talking about this broadcasting blessing bestowed upon the Red Raiders. I think we got some news since we were last together, Chris, that next week's affair, Salt Lake City, Big 12 opener, different time zone. So all types of preparation for me personally to be, I don't know, kicking off at 9:30 Central Time in front of a bunch of lathered up Utahns. We learn we'll be an 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff. You reminded me when I was already celebrating that. That's 10 a.m. local time, Salt Lake City kickoff. You're in a big noon slot on Fox. So I think as a visitor, that sounds all gravy to me. Any reaction to that news that's come across?
When I saw this, if I could have hugged it, I would have. I mean, I don't know if you could have. I don't know what the best time to play was. I just typically think like the earlier the game when you're on the road is better for you. If you're the road team, that's the way, and that's why I always get real nervous about home games when they're big ones and when they're earlier they are. It's just, late arriving crowd, and and I'm sure both teams practice early enough to where it's not like it's just totally throwing it all off. But and then I don't know. I just think that was it's big noon kickoff, so that big pregame show will come on at 9 a.m. in Lubbock time, and it'll roll right up to 11 a.m. and then you'll kick it off, which out there at Salt Lake City, it will be 8 to 10 and we'll kick it off. So kegs and eggs, man, although I don't guess they do the keg thing out there in Utah, because I'd love to have the mimosa, Bloody Mary, screwdriver, beer conversation that we had last week, and, to which you were like, yes. Yes.
That's Ed McMahon, 4 stars.
Yeah. They don't really they may not really roll that. Although I think there is a difference in Utah and BYU.
That's what I thought.
Fans. Yeah, but it's not as much as you would like to think.
I thought the Utes were all the gutter trash of Utah. Maybe that's just my perception. My bad if I don't know. I'm just getting familiar with you guys. I didn't keep up with the Mountain West.
Yeah, we will. I'll have to get our man JT Wistershill on the show, or I'll just do a show with him where we get into some of the Utah culture and all the stuff, and how different it is to BYU and all that stuff. Because this is the first time that you're about to play these guys in football. We did it in hoops, and it was a nothing burger. I think you won by like 722 points one Saturday afternoon. I felt like,
and if you're not people of the gutter. All due respect, I'd love to be educated. I just don't know. I'm just making guesses. I don't know much about Utah. Never been. Would like to go. John Ford, John Wayne, snow skiing. I hear it's great. But yeah, I'm liking this news. I will qualify this news celebration with this statement. if the kickoff time is determining the fate of your season, you ain't going nowhere anyway. So I just want to get that out there because I think we would all agree on that. But it doesn't hurt to be a visitor and kind of having the hometown fans rubbing sleep out of their eyes, right?
I mean, if we all want to just keep it real, keep it 100, right? When I saw it, I'm like, I'll be home early. I'll get to watch some ball that night, and I won't be rolling in, into the Level household at like 3:30 in the morning. Which, the older you get, the more that sucks. And I'm like, the sun will still be up when I'm getting home. So that was also my thought. We all come at these things from a selfish standpoint. Like, how does it affect me? Well, maybe my team has a better chance. Maybe I'll be home earlier. Check. Right. All the things. So yeah, I don't mind saying that.
Let's just make sure we take advantage of what's perceived to be a friendlier kickoff time, hopefully in a couple of weeks. And we don't get too excited celebrating that to look past the Beavers to our detriment as well, because it is Oregon State that's up first. All right, Chris, appreciate the time as always. Man, before we get out of here, I do want to say this for just a moment. Did not know about this prior to our previous recording, but I know I can speak for you on this, Chris, and a lot of other Red Raiders who are thinking about the family of Rod Blackburn, who had a medical emergency prior to the game on Saturday. He eventually did pass away. I don't know the context of all of it. I don't mean to end it on a down note. Sounds like when you know about your destination on the other side, that's not a down note. We ain't worried about Rod today, but we're thinking about all his family and friends, and no one to send him with guns up.
Yeah, and Coach McGuire yesterday opened up his press conference with kind of some similar thoughts. So I think that's a classy way to wrap this thing up. And I mean, it does bring a smile to my face. Like, if I was watching my favorite team and that's the way you left this earth,
I sort of thought the same thing. I got to be honest.
We could all be so lucky, kind of thing. So yeah, certainly, Section 120 at Jones AT&T won't be the same. So and I walked up the tunnel after I interviewed Coach McGuire on Saturday. At the game, and I was walking back up to the press box. You may have already left the stadium by this time, and they're stretchering somebody up the tunnel, and I just stopped and paused. And this was apparently two separate incidents, but it just gave me pause that this thing we call life, man, is very fragile. And so, yeah, they always say that about perspective. Either you have it or you need it. And it certainly gave me some perspective in the time that I was like, whoa, like football is not really that big of a deal. Sure. me trying to get home is not that big of a deal. But anyway, I appreciate you bringing that up, that class act on your part.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. I hate we didn't already, but would just, of course, offer up a prayer from anybody out there who's a praying type of person or a guns up or whatever you got. And God bless all the people, first responders or not, that leapt into action. I know immediately to try to do what they can. And I know several of my elder Red Raider family members, if that was their point of exit from this plane, they would be anxious for us to join them eventually and laugh our asses off that it was the Jones in that scene where something like this would play out, just knowing my family's sense of humor. So I'm with you and everybody else who's thought about the circumstances that we will all meet at some point in time. And we're thinking about the Blackburn family and all the friends who are missing a friend or a father, husband, grandfather, whatever it might be. So just wanted to mention that. Thank you all for joining us once again. Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Chris, appreciate you, man. Enjoyed it, and we'll see you for the next one.
Guns up, always, yeah, and especially to the Blackburns.
That's right. And, of course, hit our show notes for a link to a free 14-day trial. If you're interested in becoming a Matador Mobster, that's your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. Thank you to the everydayers for always riding along. And as always, thanks for the time. We hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.